A woman is supposed to be submissive to her husband and follow him in whatsoever he does, especially when he's doing it right and when he's doing it in the way of the Lord. The most reason why men don't see their wives supporting them and following them is because they are not leading them aright. Lead them aright. Tell her what to do according to the will of God. She should have already seen you following the right step, living out the right responsibility, and being who you're supposed to be in the family. But when you're not following the right step, you're not being the man you ought to be. It's not about money. It is not about wealth. It is about character. And it's about being there when you ought to be there, showing up when you ought to show up, and living out the spiritual life, all right? The way you ought to live out the spiritual life. And then you can be someone that she looks at you, follows your steps, be who you want her to be, according to how you have lived. You will not expect your wife to be a good woman while you are not being a nice guy. You are keeping late nights and you want her to come back early. You are living the wrong life and you want her to live the right life. Who is she now going to imitate? The people outside, her pastor, or who? Majority of the reason why women find most trust in their pastor is because their husband has not lived out the life that should be befitting for someone to learn and follow. If you want your wife to follow your steps, be that leader that will live aright and then lay down the example for her. Look at how I've lived. Look at how I'm following. Look at what I'm doing. Look at how I'm doing it. And look at what it's taking me to do. Look at how I am respecting myself. Look at how I'm honoring myself so that I can actually bring honor and respect to myself. Your wife can now follow you as you have followed Christ. If you are not following Christ, what example are you laying down for your children and your wife to follow? If you are not being a right guy, you are fighting always, you are getting into every trouble, you cannot calm down, you cannot understand, you cannot be patient, you cannot be gracious, you cannot show forth love, you cannot show forth mercy, you are not long suffering, you are not gentle. You are not following Christ. How do you then expect your wife to have the complete fruit of the Spirit when you do not have it? And then you're even being a stumbling block to her not to have it. If you want your wife to follow you aright, do things aright. Be that example, be that leader that will go aright before her, at the forefront, following Christ, being like Christ, and showing for the example. I wish you well in your marriage, and your marriage will be that success, that blissful marriage, that heaven on earth that you've prayed and expected for. Good morning, and have the best of day.